Welcome back. If it is joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo accuses President Buhari of planning to rig the upcoming elections with the connivance of his party, the APC. The All Progressives Congress dismisses Chief Obasanjo's claims, insists the former president is using his own standard to measure others. Candidates of ACPN, YPP and ANN relap their agenda at the 2019 presidential debate organized by the NEDG and BON. And US President Donald Trump attacks Democrats for rejecting his proposal to end the longest government shutdown in US history. A reminder here that channelstv.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos and news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. We can now bring you more on the presidential debates that happened on Saturday. I'm being joined on the news at 10 by a former Nigerian Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Usman Seriki. Thank you for joining us on the news at 10, Ambassador Seriki.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being with you.
A pleasure speaking with you. Two candidates of the well-known political parties in the country were absent from the debate. Looking at their reactions, Mr. Atiku Abubakar of the PDP pulling out because the candidate of the APC was not present, and the candidate of the APC saying he could not attend due to scheduling. What do you make of the reasons given by the two candidates?
Well, thank you very much. The two candidates are very respectable individuals, very highly revered Nigerians. The excuses they gave should be taken as they were, and we should not dispute them because these are the positions that they wished to advance, to the Nigerian public. So what they say, they were indisposed or they were engaged in other activities, we have to take it as that. And then move on, with what is facing the nation in terms of holding credible election. I think that is the most important thing to my mind.
So explaining what their plans, their manifestos, their programs for Nigerians, to Nigerians is not as important as being on the campaign trail and being at the election to cast their ballot.
Well, being on the campaign trail is one way of actually explaining their vision, their views, their manifestos, and their broad programs to the Nigerian public. Some, like the president, to my mind, believes in meeting the public, Nigerians face to face, to be in their midst, to see physically, for them to see him and for him to meet them. There are others who prefer, to be in front of the camera so that they could speak into the television, to the camera, and reach out to as many Nigerians as possible. We are practicing a democracy, and in doing so, there are various mediums, various ways of reaching to the public. One of them, admittedly, is to reach them through television, to appear in the studios or on a platform whereby they could engage with other contestants in order to dispute their positions, advance their positions, and then try to convince Nigerians that there are better options than others. So democracy actually has different platforms on which candidates could advocate, advance, and canvass their views across. So we should not hold it against any of the candidates or either of the two candidates for not appearing at that particular debate because of indisposition or because they are at various locations and could not be in Abuja at that moment. It is one of those things which we should not actually hold on to very fastidiously and hold it against them.
But part of what we've heard, well, the question is, do you think the debates are important in the conduct of elections because they help the people, the electorate, to get to know the minds of the candidates and to also know exactly what they're thinking concerning moving the nation forward? Are we ripe enough to have debates in Nigeria, and do the debates count when it comes to elections?
Well, progressively, our democracy is maturing. Remember, madam, that we are doing democracy now for 20 years since the return to civilian rule in 1999. We have made a lot of advances in 20 years, and one of the elements of democracy is communication. Communication by television is very important, particularly in advanced countries, where the medium has become almost a household convenience, located virtually everywhere. But in Nigeria, television is beginning to be one of those mediums that actually has not penetrated into the entire fabric of the society. Politicians want to go out there on the hustings, as it were, to speak to people in public square, in the marketplaces, and also in town halls, stadia, and so forth. Yeah. Because of the restrictive nature of television, where they feel it does not penetrate into the population, so they tend to prefer to go out on the campaign trail. But I agree with you that television establishes a modern framework for reaching out to Nigerians, whereby the candidates could sell their positions, their manifesto, their views and visions to Nigerians. But the limitation of television is that a certain class of people have the access to it, and not every Nigerian could have access to television. But it is very important in terms of accountability.
Right.
For Nigerians to know, what is being advanced, so that in future, when somebody comes into office, we can actually bring back the clip where he or she said something and said, that was what you said, you haven't fulfilled it. So television is good for records.
Right. Ambassador Seriki, thank you so much. Your thoughts, your opinions, and your analysis, of course, are valid. Thank you for joining us on the News at 10. Ambassador Usman Seriki, former Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations. Now, the campaign train of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, has landed in 4 more local government areas of Anambra State. Mr. Willie Obiano, who led the campaign to Awka North, Awka South, Njikoka and Dunukofia, expressed the party's readiness to deliver on its promises if all candidates of the party seeking election are supported to victory.
A crowd of APGA faithful received Governor Willie Obiano at the Awka North Local Government Secretariat in Achala. The governor, impressed by the large crowd, moves round the fields to felicitate with the people. The visit is partly the campaign flag-off for the 2019 general election. The fanfare in Awka South as the governor enters the township stadium is high. Another mammoth crowd welcomes the governor to St. Mary's Secondary School field, Okwo, Dunukofia local government area.
Prior to your emergence as governor of this state, Awka has remained a glorified local government headquarters. But you made us to rank among the best state capital in this country. So there's no party that can empower APGA members more than APGA that is headed by Governor Willie Obiano.
Finally, at Njikoka, major APGA stakeholders come out to receive the governor, who also goes round to celebrate with the people who stormed the local government secretariat in their numbers. It's joy and excitement all through, as the people assure him of their readiness to deliver all APGA candidates in their constituencies.
Staying with politics, the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Oyo State, Seyi Makinde has given assurance that his administration will ensure prompt payment of workers' salaries on a monthly basis if voted into power. Mr. Makinde, who met with members of the Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, also told them that he is fully in support of the local government's autonomy bill. The governorship candidate has continued to spread his manifesto to various groups and unions to gain support.
The governorship election is about a month away, and the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, continues his campaigns around the state. This time, he meets with members of the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees to interact with them and know their areas of interest, as well as sell the party's manifesto. They tell him of their concerns, bordering on promotions, prompt payment of salaries, pensioners' dues, amongst others.
Whether Nunge, whether medical health, whether UT, everyone is prompt payments of our pecuniary benefits for being workers in Oyo State.
The PDP flag bearer assures the workers of better days ahead.
From my own estimation, we'll probably get there in about 18 months. But I'll give you the assurance that for those 18 months, we'll still pay workers' salary at least 27, 28 of every month.
The day is not over yet, as he leads his people to a film house in Dubai to relax. Chants of the party's slogan fill the air as supporters gather to see their candidate. After the movie, the candidate commits to promoting culture and entertainment and also support the youth to be more productive.
If I have the opportunity to occupy the seat of the governor of Oyo State will become the cultural capital of Nigeria. We're going to get talents like him, and we're going to support them fully.
With this message, Seyi Makinde leaves them all, spreading the party's manifesto to other parts of the state.
Wife of the President, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, has asked women and youths in the country to consider the need for continuation of various ongoing federal government programs aimed at empowering Nigerians. Mrs. Buhari, who was represented by the wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Dolapo Osinbajo, said the giant strides of the Buhari-led administration in critical sectors like agriculture and economy, among others, are pointers to their commitment to improving living standards for Nigerians. Mrs. Osinbajo was speaking to women and youth representatives from 6 states in the southwest at a campaign in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Our correspondent, Bukola Oriowo, reports.
The Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, Liberty Road, Ibadan comes alive as the All Progressives Congress women and youth representatives gather for the Southwest rally for the re-election bid of President Buhari and his deputy, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The wife of the president, represented by the wife of the vice president, Mrs. Dolapo Osinbajo, expressed appreciation for the support so far given to the APC-led federal government and wants it to continue with overwhelming votes from the southwest.
Ìyàwó president wa rán mi sí yín. Wọ́n ní ká sọ fún gbogbo ará ọ̀rẹ́ aládùúgbò wípé ẹgbẹ́ APC ní kán dìbò fún. Wọ́n rán mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí yín. Wọ́n ní kí n sọ fún yín wípé tẹ́ bá dìbò tán ẹ má lọ lé o. Níṣẹ́ ni ká ẹ jókòó kán ka ìbò yín. Ká ẹ mú kálámù yín ká ẹ kọ lẹ̀.
The APC national women leader, Salamatu Boywa, also charged the youth to vote for Buhari Osinbajo pair come February.
You should go back home and mobilize your families, your brothers, your sisters, mobilize them to come out come February 2016 to re-elect our president so that he can be there again to consolidate on what he has done.
The host of the event, wife of the Oyo State Governor, Mrs. Florence Ajumobi, explains that the critical voting mass constituted by women and youth cannot be overlooked, as she expresses confidence that President Buhari would win a second term.
It is my belief that the ever-grateful targets of today's event will give their maximum support to the re-election bid of the President, Vice President, and by extension, our gubernatorial, senatorial, House of Representatives, and House of Assembly candidates in our sub-nationalities.
Wives of all the 6 governors of the Southwest, Kebbi, Nasarawa, and Imo states were all present to show their solidarity for the Buhari Osinbajo re-election.
When the News at 10 returns, a founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, Tony Elumelu, emerges Personality of the Year at the Vanguard Newspaper 2018 Awards. Join us again.